Hi everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. I'm so happy you decided to join us today. And if you're returning, I'm so grateful that you've decided to come back and watch me again. I love all things luxury. I am a massive luxury bag nerd. I love luxury shoes, lifestyle, and vlogging. And if they're things that appeal to you, then please hit that subscribe button down below and join me here. I would be so grateful to have you. Today I'm doing a tag video. It is not an unboxing. The lovely Dale from Dale's Addiction has tagged me in a video to do your most neglected bags. So I had to approach this a little bit differently to some other people because my collection is so big that most of them would probably feel neglected, with the exception of my everyday handbags that I take to work. So I have approached this as the bags that I used to use all the time that have just gone onto a shelf and have not been used in ages. So the new bags that haven't been used, they don't know any different, but these bags behind me are ones that used to come out all the time and are now going, hey, what happened? We don't get to go out anymore. So that's how I've decided to approach this tag. But thank you, Dale, for tagging me. And if you want to see more of my collection, then you can hop on over to Instagram. I've got lots of photos of my collection over there. So I'll throw up my Instagram handle for you as well so that you can have a look. So let's start with my most neglected bags, these poor things. So let's do this one first. This is one of my favorite bags of all time. I love this bag. I adore it. I remember buying it at the boutique in Perth while I was on holidays, and it has done many, many miles with me. I have traveled with this bag extensively. I always use it as my handbag when I travel because it holds so much, and then I can get a carry-on as well, which gives me so much space. I have stopped using it now for those reasons, because it is getting grotty, and the denim, it's not that just, you can't just like wipe it down, and I'm be scared to take it to a dry cleaner. So this is the Louis Vuitton bowling bag in the Patchwork denim from about mid 2000s, I want to say. So mid to late 2000s. And when I saw this, I loved it. I loved it because this pocket in the front would hold a travel documents really well, and it has done that for many a trip. It has pockets, random pockets all over it. So there's a pocket at the back, there's a zip pocket. And what drew me in, because I'm always a sucker for a lining, was the lining in this. So let's just take the pillow out for a minute. So the lining in this is this really lovely floral pattern, and I loved that. And this one's made in Italy, strangely enough. So this is from the days when Louis Vuitton still had brown as their color. But I love this bag, but the handles are getting worn and I can have them replaced. But the problem with having things replaced on these styles of bags is that if you replace these, they're going to be super blonde compared to other areas. So they can do these, they can probably do the chaps that are attached to it, but they can never replace the bits that are glued on. So like this. So then you have this two-tone effect, which is fine. I have that on one of my keepalls because of that reason. But for this bag, these are my marks. This is my wear and tear. This tells my story of travel. So I really don't want to have anything replaced, because then I'm erasing my story with this bag. And I think bags should be used, and I think they should tell your story. So I've got, let's see if I can show it to you. On the back here, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, there's a pen mark. I can tell you where I did that. I can tell you when I accidentally drew on my handbag in the middle of a flight from Hong Kong to London. So that's my story. It's my pen mark on my bag. So I don't know if I really want to erase that by having things replaced. and I don't want to keep using it too much because it's just going to get grotty, and I love this bag, so I don't want it to fall apart. So yes, this one knows that it's being neglected now because it has done so many miles with me, but I still love it. I'm not willing to give it up or part with it. And I still think it's absolutely beautiful. So there's that one. And then there's this one. All the 90s people, put your hands up. So this was the Chanel Kanban range, and this had a huge marketing campaign behind it. At the time, it was all in print because I'm old, so we read magazines. We didn't have it online. And it was everywhere. Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, any fashion magazine, they had advertising in it. This bag came in this size, which is the small, and then they had a bigger tote as well. They had camera bags. It also came in a white with the black CCs. And obviously, I love pink. I wanted the pink. And this was a lot of money for me at the time. It was so much money, and I was just drooling over these advertising campaigns. And the very first trip I took to New York, I went to Chanel and I said, I want this bag. And they said, sold out, you've got no hope. And I went to Saks, I think it was in Saks, and they had one left, and it was this one. So I took it, and it sent me into debt at the time, but I loved it and I used it so much. I've been really careful with it. You can see it's still in fantastic condition. There are no marks on it, and the inside's still super clean. And it's just a big black hole. And even the bottom's still in great condition, but I did use it. I used it a lot because I just loved the pink so much, and it was everywhere. Everybody wanted this bag. So I'm super happy I have it. I will never get rid of it, and they haven't held their resale value anyway. But yeah, it's one that also notices that it doesn't get used anymore. And then this one. This was my very, very first multicolor Takashi Murakami piece. And I own many of these pieces now, but this was my first, and it was bought from the store. And it was an early release, and you can see that because if you look at the pocket, you can see the bleeding that's come through. So these bags were renowned for being faulty, but I don't think they're faulty. So the interior is this amazing red color. It's just this cherry red. And they're all like this. All the white pieces have the cherry red interior. And no one must have done quality testing, because when you put white leather with a cherry red backing to it, you get this bleeding that happened. They did fix this towards the end of the run of these bags, but this was an earlier run. And you can see that I have used this. I've really used it. You can see that the handles are patinaed. They've got marks on them. The inside is still clean. But yes, this bleeding meant that they really don't... the ones without the bleeding will always hold their value better than the ones that had the bleeding. For me, it's part of the beauty of these bags. If you love this print, if you love this design, if you want to collect them like I do, you accept that part of the beauty of this is this bleeding. These bags own that. It's like the marks I have on this one. I own those marks. I also feel like I own this bleeding. This is my bag. So I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. But I used to take this out all the time. I loved it. It went everywhere with me when I went shopping. And then, yeah, I stopped using it because I had other bags. But it is one that I love, that I will always keep, because it was my first one of these pieces. But yeah, it doesn't see the light of day very often anymore. And I have some honorable mentions across the top. So I've also got, in the same print, my Speedy, which I'm not sure if you can see. I've got a Burberry bag I used to take out all the time, and another Louis Vuitton in the Demier Azure. Moving on. So my MM Neverfull in the Demier Azure. This was my first Neverfull, and it is so old. You can see the dust bag is a real yellow color because they changed the dust bags. And this one doesn't come with the pouch. That's how old it is, but still a little embarrassing. So if you look at this, I've trashed this. There's marks in the bottom from makeup. The VVN along the top, and the shed handles and everything. They're very patinaed and very worn. But this one was my first one, and I carried it all the time. And my partner bought me this one, which makes it super special. And I've talked to my sales associates, and they say, you know, they can replace the leather and possibly not the lining, because it is what it is. But once again, my bag, it tells my story. I love it as it is. Does it look worn? Yes, but I wore it, so I'm okay with that. And I live with the marks in the bottom. I created the problem, so I now need to live with it. Does it irk me a little bit? Yes, because I should know better. And that's why I now get bag organizers for all my Neverfulls, but at the time it was what it was, so they're my marks. And I have recently bought a pouch to go with this because it did drive me a little bit nuts that I had one Neverfull that didn't have a pouch, so I have bought a matching pouch for it. In my head I will always know it's not quite right, but that's okay. So yeah, my Neverfull, this Neverfull in particular, does not see the outside world very often anymore. And then this one. So this is my personalized Louis Vuitton Speedy in the size 30. When Louis Vuitton started doing this, it was a very different process to what it is now. So when they very first started doing it in Australia, I got an invite to the Sydney store, which is not in the store that is anymore. It is at the moment. It's actually where Dior is now. And it was this much smaller building than what it is, and they would take you in for an appointment up to the 3rd floor, which was a little apartment. And I remember sitting on this white lounge with my friend who came with me, and they offered us drinks, and they were like cranberry juice, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you're giving me cranberry juice. I'm sitting on a white lounge in Louis Vuitton. Do not spill it, do not spill it, do not spill it. And they took you through the process of creating what you wanted on a smart board. At the time, smart boards didn't exist. Like, it was this, oh my goodness, what is this technology you have? This is amazing. And smart boards are everywhere now. Every classroom's got a smart board. But at the time, I was so impressed. I was like, oh, this is a smart board. This is fancy. And they took you through the process on this smart board, and you created it, and you had choice of like 4 colors, I think. There were no pinks. And you had the choice of 2 stripes and your initial. So this is how they started out. And once you ordered it, it went off to France, they painted it, and they sent it back. The process is very different now and much quicker, and you've got heaps more choice. You can change your linings and stuff. I couldn't do any of that. This was all I could do. So this was one of the first ones that they did in Sydney, and I loved it to bits because people just didn't have them. So you can see I've got my initials painted on it, and I went with like a maroon color and a cream. And I took it out all the time because it was so different, and no one else had one, and clearly no one else has one exactly the same because my initials, and I've chosen the colors. But yeah, it doesn't come out with me very often anymore. I have to admit, I haven't used it in years, but I was so proud of it at the time. I used to carry it all the time. All right, and then 2 more, and then we have this one. So this is a Dior Hobo Bag. So you can see it's got a heart on it. I'll turn that around. So Dior, and it's got the Dior on the handle, and this is a wooden handle. So I picked this up in Hong Kong on my travels, and I just thought it was a great easy hobo bag, and I used to carry it all the time. So just big open space, and it's got the tone on tone in black oblique print in it. And I used to actually use it a lot if I'd go out at night because black's an easy color. The handle gives it a little bit of difference, and I really liked the heart that hung from it, although I did whack myself with it on many occasions. The handle is not comfortable. Not by any stretch of the imagination is this handle comfortable, but I liked how it looks, so I used to take it out all the time. I feel a bit like I don't use it very often anymore because it dated a little bit, although with the resurgence of the 90s influence coming back, I think I can probably get away with it again, but I have so many bags now, I'm not sure I'll sacrifice comfort to carry this one again, but it's done some miles with me and I do love it, so I will continue to keep it. And the last one is this bag. This is a Chloe bag, which we don't see reviewed a lot in the luxury community, but Chloe had a moment with the Paddington bag, and I really wanted a Paddington bag, but I couldn't afford one. I never got one. I look at them now in the resale market, but I've never pulled the trigger on it. And the Chloe bags are known for being heavy, and this is so heavy. It is crazy heavy, but I used it all the time. It has a zipper on each side with these big tags for it, and then a big open space in there, and it's got a zip pocket as well, but it's just crazy heavy. And when you put a whole heap of stuff in it on top of that, it used to weigh me down, but I loved it. I loved the look it gave. It wasn't a Paddington bag, but still it had that Chloe effect to it. And I like that Chloe's a little bit understated. Like there's the brass plaque that says Chloe there, and the stamping on some of the leather bits say Chloe, but generally speaking, it doesn't scream Chloe. So I enjoyed the understatedness of it, but yeah, it hasn't been out in years because I just look at it and go, oh, it's so heavy. So yeah, but once again, lots of memories with it, so I'll never get rid of it. So I'm going to tag a few YouTubers. This is my first time tagging, so forgive me if you guys have already been tagged. I'm new to this. So I'm going to tag Lucinda from Yellow Chic Road. I'm going to tag Megan from Train Girl Megan. I'm going to tag Mel from Purse on Fleek. And Connor from the closet. Connor, I want to see what bags you're not using anymore. So yeah, you guys, I look forward to seeing your videos. Just so you know, I am running a giveaway at the moment. I will link the video down below for that so you know where to enter. It's for a Louis Vuitton micro pochette in the pink denim. So if you want to enter that giveaway, then click on the link below for the video and follow the directions I give in that video. I hope you'll come join me over on Instagram so you can see lots of my collection, and I'll throw up my handle again for you so you can find me over on Instagram. And I hope that you'll come back and see me again by hitting that subscribe button down below and the little bell notification so you know that when I've uploaded videos. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys.